If y'all was to let me out now, I would get treatment and go home and never come back to this messed up state ever.
A man stands in a courtroom, not in a suit, not with confidence, but with desperation wrapped around every word he speaks. David Hack has been inside since February, watching days bleed into weeks, watching his probation deadline come and go while he sat behind bars unable to do anything about it. What you're about to witness isn't just a routine probation hearing. It's a collision between a broken system and a broken man, one trying to prove he deserves a second chance, and a judge trying to decide if that chance is even worth giving. The question isn't just whether David violated his probation. The real question is, did the system fail him first?
All right, what's your name, sir?
David Hack.
All right. Perfect. David Hack is 2405 F5122. And what are we doing on Mr. Hack today?
Judge, Mr. Collette sent me some notes. It looks like the petition was filed because Mr. Hack tested positive for some substances while he was on probation. Mr. Collette said that he substantially completed a good portion of the probation, and while he was out, he had a good job, and the job is willing to hold his position if he's able to get into treatment. So our request today would be for him to be reinstated for probation and have treatment as the term of probation.
All right, thank you, ma'am. So we're looking at drug screens.
Multiple drug screens. That phrase alone can end a man's freedom, and in this courtroom, it nearly did. David's defense attorney painted a picture of a man who was working, who was trying, who had a job waiting for him on the other side of all this. But the prosecution had a different picture entirely. The state's attorney didn't see a man fighting for recovery. She saw a pattern: repeated failures, missed appointments, a referral to Project 180D that seemed to go nowhere. To her, this wasn't someone reaching for help, this was someone avoiding it. Two sides, two completely different stories. And somewhere in the middle of those stories sat David Hack, a man who was about to get the chance to speak for himself.
Ms. McCright, what is your recommendation? What was the state's recommendation be if he were to admit today?
Your Honor, this wasn't just a one-time positive drug screen. It looks like it was several until finally they referred him to Project 180 and he did not show up for that. So it looks like he has a substance abuse issue that he's not willing to address. So my recommendation would be for the MASS program through community corrections.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
May I say something, please?
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say, if you waive your right to remain silent, is being recorded and can be used against you. But of course, you can say whatever you want.
I understand that. I have been currently going to Project 180 up until the time that they violated me. I had an appointment the same day, not only with Project 180, but with Kat from Thrive, the day that they violated me. And then that morning, Project 180 called and said that Miss Ashley had to reschedule because she had an emergency with family. I've been going. I missed one appointment with Project 180 due to the fact that I couldn't get there on time. Were the lady saying that I was not going to that? I don't get that because I was going.
There it is, the moment David Hack stopped being a case number and became a human being. He wasn't skipping appointments out of defiance. The counselor canceled on him. He had 2 appointments lined up on the very day they locked him up. He was trying. He says he was trying. But in a courtroom, good intentions don't erase paperwork. The judge now had to weigh something courts rarely deal in: nuance. The record showed 2 no-shows. David had an explanation for both. Who do you believe? The documentation, cold and clinical, or the man standing before you, desperate and specific? This is where courtrooms get complicated, because sometimes the system and the truth aren't pointing in the same direction.
Well, here's where we are. So this says, and it does mention that you were there for 2 months, or almost 2 months, says on October 28th, 2025, defendant was referred to Project 180 through LifeSpring. The defendant was no call, no show for appointments on December the 15th, and then again on January the 21st. So there are 2 of those is what they're saying. Let me look at this. September, November, drug screen showed positive for amphetamine. In December, signed an admission for those.
And what is community corrections?
Community corrections would be either the ankle bracelet, because they said they would take you on the ankle bracelet, or the MASS program, which is day reporting, but I'm
homeless. I don't have an address. I'm homeless.
That's a whole different problem.
And my probation was supposed to have been up on the 25th, and I've been here since February 11th. That gives me credit for 4 months and 4 days with the 2 for 1 on the level 6. So wouldn't I actually have served my actual remaining time out?
Homeless. That one word shattered every neat solution the courtroom had been building. Ankle bracelet, you need an address. Daily reporting program, you need somewhere stable to sleep. Treatment after 28 days, you need a place to land. Every door the system opened for David had the same invisible barrier standing in front of it. You have to already be okay to qualify for help getting okay. And now David was doing the math himself, counting days, calculating credits, trying to figure out if he'd already served his time in a roundabout way. It showed he wasn't just frustrated, he was paying attention. He understood the numbers better than some people expected him to. But the judge had numbers of his own, and they told a very different story about how much time David still had left to serve.
So what you had was 1 year of probation, and if you do 11 months of that probation and then get violated, you still have to do the full year. You don't get any credit for the time you were doing on probation successfully, but you do get every day you've done in jail. So you were picked up
February 11th.
We're the 11th. Okay, so then we've got 2.5 months of credit now, which is, like you said, 5 against your 12. So you still got a lot to go.
Because ain't on a level 6 with the year, wouldn't that only be 6 months, sir?
Yeah, but you're trying to say you only have a month left. You're cutting it twice. It's 6 actual months. So that means if you were arrested February 11th, it'd be August 11th.
So I've talked to some of the officers in the jail, and because when I called the public defender's office, they said something about the community corrections, and I mentioned that me not having a address other than a hotel, that I could still do the community corrections, that they just put me on a ankle monitor on the GPS with my phone.
Don't know about that. I know they want you to have a stable housing, so I don't think you could do it if you're bouncing place to place. So I don't think that works that way.
But if I'm going into treatment, wouldn't that considered a stable place while I'm in treatment for a 28-day program?
Well, for 28 days, yeah, but then what do you do at the end of that? You know what I mean? You gotta have a stable place for 6 months.
David Hack just exposed the most brutal paradox in the criminal justice system. You can't get stable without getting out, and you can't get out without being stable. He had an answer for everything the judge threw at him. Treatment? He had a program. Housing? He had a possibility. His ex-wife, a daughter with Down syndrome, a place in New Albany waiting if only he could make one phone call. But he couldn't, because he was in jail. And in jail, you can't make the moves they're demanding you make before they'll let you go. The judge heard it, you could tell. Because what happened next wasn't a sentence. It was a negotiation. A rare, almost human moment in a system not exactly known for those. He set a new hearing date, June 16th, and he dangled something in front of David that felt almost like hope.
I would give me an opportunity to be able to get one, because I had an opportunity to move back in with my ex-wife to help take care of our daughter because she has Down syndrome and stuff, and she lives in New Albany, and I got violated before I had a chance to get more information on what she needed done.
So what I'm going to do, Mr. Hack, is set you for June the 16th. And that means, give me 1 second. That gives, it's not Ms. Singh, it's Donald, Mr. Collada, the opportunity to work with community correction and see what programs they might have that would work for you. See if they could put you on the ankle bracelet for 28 days while you're inpatient, and then reassess at the end of that.
So what's the other you was talking about daily reporting?
Same, you still need a housing. You still need to be somewhere. And that's where you show up every day for class. You call every day, you show up 4 days, 5 days a week for classes. That's something you can ask Mr. Collada about. It's the MAST program, but I'm not sure if they'll, if you would fit in that or not. I don't know. June the 16th, we're going to come back and do this again. If, just Mr. Hack, if you were to admit to the violation today, what I would do was give you credit for admitting the violation. Instead of revoking 12 months, I revoke 11. That still means you have to serve 5.5 months. So we're still going to come back well ahead of that 5-month window. So make sure to talk with Mr. Collada and see what options he can find for me for June 16th.
I mean, is there a option that I could get like OR today to be able to find housing to be able to do community corrections?
No, and I get that it handcuffs
Because
you.
me being indigent in here, I can't even use the phone to even call anybody to even get to be able to get an address. So, I mean, it's like a catch-22. My hands are hindered no matter what I'm doing. So, I mean, I've been here since February and I got a new attorney I've not seen not one time. And here I am in front of y'all and I've not seen this man not one time.
So
I feel that I'm not even getting proper representation or anything. And then y'all just want to... So I'm to the point where I'm about ready to just say, you just serve me on out.
That right there, serve me on out, is a man surrendering. Not to the law, to exhaustion. David Hack had been fighting this fight since February with no phone access, no attorney visits, no way to secure the very things the court was demanding he secure. He wasn't giving up on getting better. He was giving up on a system that seemed designed to keep him spinning in circles. And then he dropped something the judge didn't expect. He'd been working with Thriv inside the jail. He just had his assessment the day before. A treatment bed was being searched for at that very moment. This wasn't a man refusing help. This was a man who had already started reaching for it while locked in a place where reaching for anything was nearly impossible. The judge paused, and in that pause you could see the math changing.
Well, we can do that in June. We can do it now or in June if that's where you decide you want to go. Here's the thing. I get that that's just the way the system is set up. We want you to do this before we'll let you out, but you can't do that until you get out, and it's a circle. I get that, but I'm not willing to let you out because you had multiple drug screens while you were out and you weren't doing probation well. So it's.
And I've been working with Thrive in here, and I just had my assessment yesterday with Dalen from Thrive with Turning Point. They just don't have a bed open. They're trying to find me a bed right now. I have treatment to go to.
So here's a possibility, Mr. Hack.
And at least gives me access to a phone every day to find an address.
Mr. Hack, settle down for a second. Here's the thing. We come back in June. You have the option of admitting, and I'd revoke 11 months, which is 5.5 actual. You'd still have about 60 days to serve in county. Or we come back in June. If you've got a place to go for 28 days, I could probably be convinced to take an admission and return you to probation and let you go to the inpatient thing. So you get both things done. You get your case completed and you get some inpatient treatment. It's not something we do today because I wouldn't be willing to do that until the last 60 or 90 days of your sentence anyway. So talk to Mr. Collada, keep working with Thrive. When we come back in June, you find me a place that has suitable housing for you for 30 days, and I could probably be convinced to cut you loose then.
So if I was to say, just go ahead and violate it all and let me do my time, how much more time am I looking at?
It would be 5.5 months from February the 11th. So that would be end of September.
So I come back to court when?
That's not July, being in July, wouldn't it? Yeah, math's off there. You're going to come back in June, and if you were to admit now or then, you would get out the end of July, not September.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and admit to it so I can get my jail credit time.
Mr. Hack, do you want to wait until June since you have to serve anyway, and that way you can talk to Mr. Collada before you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to wait until June to your next hearing, and then if you want to proceed, you can admit then?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay.
Because I just want to be able to go home. I've been stuck in this state for 20-something years, and I'm ready to go back home. Y'all won't let me go home.
20-something years. That's how long David Hack has been in Indiana, not by choice, but by circumstance, by the slow gravitational pull of legal trouble and limited options. Home is Alabama. It always has been. And every word he's spoken in his courtroom has been pointed in that direction, like a compass that never stopped working even when everything else did. The judge could have shut him down. Instead, he did something remarkable. He left the door open. Come back in June, find a bed, find a plan, and I'll let you go. It wasn't freedom, not yet. But it was the closest thing to it David Hack had felt in months.
Where's home?
Alabama.
Okay.
If y'all was to let me out now, I would get treatment and go home and never come back to this messed up state ever.
No, let's don't be insulting my state now. My Hoosier's got a good recruiting class in the portal. So you're gonna, when we let you out in June, you're gonna get treatment here for 30 days and then go back to Alabama. Or you're going back to Alabama and get
I'm
treatment?
going back to Alabama and get treatment.
Okay.
I
Then
want to leave this state. I've been trying to leave this state since I was 18 years old. Y'all have kept me here all this time.
So, Mr. Hack, when we come back in June, make sure to make that request. And if you can find things in Alabama that we have set up, I'll cut you loose in June, let you go back to Alabama to get whatever you've got lined up.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks, sir.
The judge cracking a joke about basketball recruiting in the middle of a probation hearing. Only in America. But underneath that moment of unexpected lightness was something quietly significant. The judge had just agreed to let David Hack go home. To Alabama. To his daughter. To a life that had been waiting for him while he sat in a county jail counting days. It wasn't the ending David wanted when he walked in, but it was an ending he could work with. A plan, a date, a possibility. Now we shift to the second case. And if you thought David's hearing was complicated, wait until you meet Sean Williamson. Because this one comes with a glass pipe, a memory that conveniently returned after getting shot, and a man who somehow thought admitting guilt meant walking out the door today.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, what's your name?
Williamson? Sean Williamson?
It was our request last week that we admit the violation in time served at the time that he has in custody. And I believe the court indicated that at the time they wanted him to do, they would admit revoke 11 months of the 12 months, which he didn't have a full amount of time on. I believe that if we do that, his out date would be May 12th. I filed a credit term sheet last week, and I apologize to the court that I didn't update that, but it looks like he's got 154 days as of today's date.
Okay.
So, Mr. Williamson, do you remember when we spoke in the jail?
Yeah.
And we were going to admit that you didn't complete your treatment as required?
So that'll probably be a time served.
Well, that's what we asked the judge for.
Oh, so you want me to send it to May? I thought I was getting out today.
Well, I told you that we would ask the court for that, but this is what do we... Is it accurate that you were placed on probation on this matter back on August of 2025?
Yeah.
And one of the terms and conditions of your probation was that you were to complete treatment as directed?
Yeah.
Would you agree that you did not complete treatment as directed?
The thing is, they wouldn't accept me, so I mean, I didn't do nothing wrong, but you want me to admit that I didn't.
But you didn't complete the treatment at all. Is that accurate?
No, but I paid for the fees and fines to have my probation transferred, and they told me they couldn't accept me, the treatment program, so.
Right, and you were supposed to go to treatment and you did not go.
They wouldn't accept me.
Which means you did not go.
No.
Good. Is that it? It's good enough for me.
Okay. All right. That's it.
All right. Mr. Williamson, do you admit that by not completing treatment as directed, you violated the terms and conditions of your probation?
I'm just saying I didn't. I admit it, but I didn't do that. I did everything I was supposed to do. But you should let me out May 12th, right?
I don't have the dates, but that sounds like that's what's going to happen. But I need to re-ask my question. Do you admit that you violated the terms and conditions of your probation?
Yeah.
Sean Williamson just tried to have it both ways, admit the violation, but also insist he did nothing wrong. It's a legal tightrope that his attorney clearly saw coming, even if Sean himself didn't fully understand the wire he was walking on. The treatment program wouldn't accept him, he paid his fees. In his mind, he did his part. In the court's mind, the outcome was the same either way. He didn't complete treatment. The judge didn't flinch. The admission was enough. And just like that, Sean Williamson's time was measured down to a specific date, May 9th, 2 weeks away. Done. But Sean wasn't done talking. And what came next rewrote everything anyone thought they knew about how he ended up in that courtroom in the first place.
So you owe 14 days, so 2 weeks from today, and is that May 12th? Is that what? All right, Mr. Williamson, I'm going to revoke 330 days of the previously suspended sentence, give you credit for 154 actual days today, terminate your probation as unsuccessful. So you'll be out, it looks like May the 9th, and you're done with probation with this case. You do have a pending case. Let me tell you what that is so we're all on the same page. In Clarksville Town Court, I believe is what it was. 2203 CM 146, a trespass case from way back And
How do all these charges keep on popping up that I didn't do? You know, that's why I don't understand it.
Here's the thing, that may not be accurate because you got arrested May of 25, and there's nothing that says anything after there. There's no warrants for FTA, so I don't know what happened there.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, after I got shot, I was locked up here last year, and now that I realize it, I didn't never have no possession of meth. I ain't never got caught with meth in my wife in this state. That was pretty messed up. That whoever wrote the citation with the charge that I didn't do. You know, that's pretty. I was just saying, Jacobs. I'm just trying to be honest with you. I mean, I was shot a year and a half ago, but you know, now I'm starting to get my memory back, and I just think that was pretty messed up. Whoever wrote that charge on me, it means I think you should do some discovery and say that was pretty messed up how you did, Mr. Williamson.
Well, potentially. I mean, it's water under the bridge. I could also have the state investigate perjury if we're talking about you saying under oath you did something now you're saying you didn't do. Here's where we are. Williams was then escorted to his apartment where we were let in. In plain view on the bed was a glass smoking pipe containing a crystal substance commonly associated with methamphetamine. So it's there. You could sue the officer for lying, but I don't think you'd win that one. All right. So I don't know about that Clarksville case, if it exists or not. It's not clear. So just be aware that it might. I would call Clarksville if I were you, but we don't need to discuss that today. Sending down the paperwork to have you released on May the 9th. And that is it for today.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
Sean Williamson just admitted a probation violation, got his release date, and then in the same breath, tried to walk back the original charges that landed him there. A glass pipe in plain sight on his bed. Crystal substance. Officers who documented everything. And now, with freedom 2 weeks away, he wanted to rewrite history. The judge shut it down fast. You already said under oath that you did it. Bringing that up now doesn't erase the record. It opens the door to perjury. 2 men, 2 hearings. 2 completely different journeys through the same broken, frustrating, occasionally compassionate system. David Hack left with a plan and a thread of hope pointing toward Alabama. Sean Williamson left with a release date and a warning not to test his luck any further. The courtroom cleared. The judge moved on. And somewhere in a county jail, 2 men sat with their thoughts, one counting the days to June, the other counting the days to May 9th, both just trying to find their way back to something that felt like a life. Thanks for watching. Video, like, and subscribe for more videos.